Alright, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. Today is the week ending February 23rd, 2024. Yeah, overall this week, I think, we go into the market pulling back a little, continue the little pullback from last week. But then, obviously, the big result on Nvidia after Wednesday hours came out and really helped the market quite a bit. So the question now becomes like, is this rally continue to have more leg going up, or is this the last catalyst to take the market to the current peak right now? So that's going to be a very interesting question going forward, and we have one more week left till March, and the rally is getting a little bit long in the tooth. I think we are at, I believe, 17 weeks now. So yeah, and so let's start off with some of the analysts yesterday on Friday came out, talk about, what do you do at this current moment. Cameron Dawson, she mentioned, if you have your winners, let them ride, continue to ride, but she wouldn't take new position. She thinks healthcare can be can do well this year. She also like very selected small caps that have really good balance sheet. So those are areas she's looking at. Tom Lee, he's always a bull. He likes industrial small caps. He still thinks there's 50% upside this year. He thinks that a lot of side money is still sitting. He says that margin debt currently pretty low. Not as low as like the bottom 2022 in October, but pretty close to it. So basically saying people are not taking much risk at all. Sentiment he believes is still negative in most from his some of his clients. He thinks that they're still too negative. Stocks are moving actually on good earnings, so he likes that. And also his technical analysts say that there's no any major technical breakdown so far. So he believes the rally can go on. But he does say that he believes there will be a correction within the first 6 months this year. So he just doesn't know when that will happen. So yeah, I think right now this is a famous saying, and I suffer a little bit from it as well. More money has been made from trying to pick the top or the bottom. So I think it's and that's why you're trying to pick the top, so you're trying to short the market. So yeah, it's definitely not a good idea to try to pick the top, because you could try it 10 times and fail all 10 times. So where it's better to like just be patient. I think that is the most keyword right now. If you're not in the market, or you miss out, don't have FOMO, fear of missing out. Just be patient, wait for the right hand to show up, or the right pitch. Look for, I think, just if you follow IBD style, you're looking for stocks that are breaking out bases. Those are the probably the best reward risk ratio. Yeah, and obviously we'll talk about this the stock pickers market. The market breadth is still quite narrow, and even after such a rally, I feel like it's a telltale sign of how narrow this market is, even after such a rally. And will the breadth expand? Who knows, right? Like we're gonna continue with the Russell 2000. We want to watch that to see, because that is the big one, because once that breaks out and the market will really take off, I think, and then we'll see broad rally from a lot of sectors and stuff. Lots of stocks are extended. There's no doubt about that. Most of them are easily over 20% gain from their breakout point. Use channel line and stuff like that to draw the upper channel line to see where they're at, because you definitely don't want to buy near those channel line, because that would be near the top. And then some of them run in climax, so you want to make sure you take some profit and so forth. Raise your stops as well if you have a good profit. That way you can nail those gains if it does come back down. yeah, again, reward risk level, make sure you understand when you're buying any stock right now. Very key to always follow that rule, because that will help you cut, get stop out or cut your losses very quickly in case the market do turn. And that's the thing, right? Like, we don't know when the market can turn. So yeah. Monday was holiday, there's really not much happening. And then Tuesday, that was still a bad day. Let me go to Nasdaq quickly here. Let's see. You can see Monday. Yeah, so Monday was right here, and you can see it make a new low. And Tuesday it make a also, yeah, sorry, Tuesday and Wednesday, right? You see, they both make a new low, undercut, 21 day. So it looks pretty bad right here. It looks pretty bad. And so really the big jump here on Thursday was because of the Nvidia news. And then some, obviously there's a lot more buying on Thursday. So and that's the thing, don't try to short the market just because things look a little bit bad, because again, there's always lots of volatility near the top and stuff. So it's even you could be right, but short term it could have lots of volatility. So if you think this is the top, doesn't mean it's not the top. It just could have a lot of volatility before it top. And so or vice versa, it might not be the top, and it could, maybe the Nvidia news is going to spark more investor interest. Who knows, right? So that's something to pay attention to. But at least it found support at the 21-day moving average. S&P also did slip below its 10-day moving average. So we go look at S&P. So before we go to S&P, I just want to finish off Nasdaq here. So you can see Friday, it did give back a little bit of gains, very little, like 0.2%. So which is a good thing, because Thursday was a big up day, right? It was let's see, it's almost 3%, 2.96. So the fact that it gave back so little is a really good sign, right? Even though Friday was a down day, but to me it's still a good sign, because if you look at the weekly chart, they call this what we call outside range, right? So reverse outside range. So that means that it not only undercut the lows of the previous weeks, but also it make a new high, right? So that is very promising. So yeah, so this week it made a new high. I believe 16134, and last week, yeah, it did make a new high. So now the other thing about the Nasdaq chart is we are so close to the all-time high now, right? 16212 and 16100 right now. So we are just 100 points away. I mean, easily within a day they could knock this one out. And so that's why I think that's also another bullish sign, is that the market really wants to, the way it closed last week, it really tells me this is it's gonna go for this. So now what happens after it passed that point, I don't know. Because if we go to S&P, they already did that a while ago. So S&P broke to new high like a few weeks ago, right? Like at the beginning of the year. So yeah, same as Dow and stuff. So so it has to continue to go. So this is the bullish trend right now. Again, I don't think we should try to pick the top, because who knows, this rally could be the biggest rally we ever know in the last few years, and so you don't want to miss out on that. It's possible it could continue. I mean, this run here in 20, like we have a correction. So 2020, we have a correction, after a few months here, and then it went on for pretty long. I mean, there's smaller pullbacks here, right? But and that's it. That's all you get on the index. So right now, it's possible that it could do something like that. Who knows, right? Like, so you don't want to pick the top, because this rally could be stronger than most people think. And maybe it's just gonna have more pullbacks that are really short, like a few percent here and there, right? And also, like I think a lot of, especially, you know, if we look at Russell, well, let's just jump to Russell. I think Russell is still the one that everyone talks about, and you know, again, it fell again. You see, from last week, it kind of closed at the top, but then it fell this upper channel line, and this week it closed at the bottom, so that's the negative. So you know, it did find support at this 50-day. So that's the one good thing about this chart, is it constantly found support, found support, found support, found support. So as the lows are getting higher and higher, and this is the highs right here, eventually it's gonna break out one way or the other. Like it could break down as well, but so far it's looking very promising, right? Because the pendant is pointing upward. This pendant pattern is pointing upward. So that is a, you know, it might just need more time, and that's one thing that could really propel the market higher if the smaller caps really start to take some leadership and broaden the market. And so so that's something we want to watch, because you can look at mid cap as well, and mid cap, you can see mid cap has started to take some, you know, breaking out as well. So if you go to the longer term chart, you see mid caps have already broken out, right? So it has similar pattern like the Russell, but this one already make new high, you see. So so I think that's a good sign, and that's, you know, it's a slow process, and part, you know, I think part of the reason the slow process why it's taking so long to break out is market is anticipating Fed to cut rates this year, and so as soon as that happens, the market breadth will expand, because, you know, it'll be easier on the financial for most companies that borrow money. And so the mid cap is already happening, you know, and so this is also heading towards the new highs now. So these are all bullish, you know, trends, right? And so coming back to Russell, I again, you know, if you look at most small caps, they have been bidding hard. Even in this current earnings right now, a lot of them that miss, they get bid hard. Like I watched so many of them drop 10-15% so easily, and some of them, you know, are just near the bottom of the range and just getting pumped, like really hammered. And so what I'm trying to say is, a lot of these stocks has already been correcting, right? You know, so you know, that's why it's hard to see a bigger correction, because they already corrected. And so, you know, yes, this earnings report now is good. Maybe the next one will. And so the market is looking into the future, right? And so, yeah, so that's very interesting. So, yeah, I will jump to one stock right now, just to talk about, because I think the home builder stock are really making a move right now, and that's you know, that's something that tells me a lot about the market, right? So this guys broke out on earnings this week, Toll Brothers, and so you can see the pattern here. You know, you have this, you know, it has gone on, you know, since really the bottom of 2022, and it's one of the sectors that has been moving in an uptrend, and you know, it goes up, build a base, goes up, build a base, and then this one was a bigger base here, because it failed that base right there. And then it goes up, and then now builds a base. Now it's breaking out again, right? So why is this so important? Because home builders, their numbers are not like, this one is probably one of the better financials. You can see like most of them are actually positive, right? But you know, if you look at other ones, probably not as good. But yet this whole group has been doing really well over this last year and a half. So, and the trend continues, right? And this is being despite, like, you know, the economic news are not the best right now. So at least from you know, the home buying stuff. But they're still holding on, and they're still making new highs. But yeah, but the market did like the numbers, and you know, you see RS line hitting new high. So I took a position in this week, and I probably want to add more to it, because I feel like this could be, you know, this is a very nice breakout. So it broke out, it come back, you know, but the next day it didn't go down lower, right? And then the third day it fall through again, right? So it make new high again. So So this is very strong action. Volume did come in. So yeah, this is picture perfect base breakout. I really like it, and the base is so flat, like it's only 10%. It just shows how many people don't want to sell this stock. So yeah, really good. And so why am I talking about this? Because this is probably considered mid cap now. And this is the bigger one. I mean, there's other ones like PHMs. This one also bigger, a little bit bigger. So yeah, so this one hasn't come out yet. It's still, it did bounce on the so this is like kind of forming a base right now. And you see the numbers is not as good, but but they're still making money. It's just not as good. So yeah, there's lots of other ones like let's see here. Yeah, MDC, MHO. So those are the higher relative strength. Oh, this one got bought out, I believe. MHO. Okay, so again, this one's at the bottom. So a lot of them have been building a base, but Toll Brothers is the first one to come out. Let me see, what's the index? Is this the index? Yes, it's Home Builders Index. So you see the HHSHAB actually came out already, right? Like out of the base here, before most of the stocks as well, which is interesting. So it shows that maybe underlying there's more strength than some of the leaders actually, because it broke out much earlier, and then now you can see it making new high. So yeah, so this is also a pretty strong pattern based on base pattern, because it hasn't make enough gain to consider a new base. So yeah, so that's also a very strong pattern. Yeah, so anyhow, this is the Home Builders. So yeah, just want to say, right, like coming back to Russell, there's a chance that the market might expand its breadth in very near future, just because Russell, the other thing that also the Russell is like, this is actually a nice, if you look at the daily chart, it's actually a nice cup with handle pattern, and now it has built 2 handles, and as long as it doesn't fail the handles, it's possible that once it break out, it's going to be strong, and so that's something that we want to see, because it has tested the handle like so many times now, like 2 times now. So if it does survive, and then obviously you have the longer pattern here, which is that looks like this. Again, this might be too far-fetched to look at as a pattern. The key is this again, this upper channel line. If it can really pass that, like, it really means something, especially after this long. So everyone's watching this. That's why I don't want to be too bearish, despite where things are at. Like, obviously, people think that market is overbought. So that's another thing. I'm going to jump around the place today just because there's really lots. They're all kind of related. So let me jump to what I want to talk about is the Nasdaq indicator here. This is the short-term overbought oversold oscillator. And what's fascinating about this oscillator is that despite it's been a few months rally now since November, the overbought oversold oscillator doesn't show that it's overbought, and it's kind of like has been correcting itself as it goes up. And so yeah, so basically people have been selling and taking their profit as time goes, and so it never really went to like really high overbought territory, like, which is for most people is in this case it should be at the 500 level. And so last time we hit this was like around mid-December or late December, and then we saw this sell off right here. So yeah, and then since January, even though the market has been rallying, like, we don't see the bullishness. Like, people are not really buying and holding as long as they should. So they've been selling on the way up, and so they're not fully capitalizing on it. So this is very interesting. And then even recently, right, we have the the pullback. Now we're back to almost under zero again. So this is very interesting because it just shows that people are not really putting or not as as bullish as you think. And so So the one we saw was Nasdaq. Now this one is NYSE, and this one, you know, you can see it hit 500 in January, close to 500 in January, or late January, and then it also came close to it recently, but now it has also come back a little bit. So yeah, so again, we're not at the 500 level, and that's where usually, you know, even here when you're at the 500 level, it could stay there for a while. So we're just not even close to it. So that's really good sign that, you know, despite what everyone says about, oh, you know, the rally is getting long, like maybe it is not that long in terms of, you know, being overbought yet. So yeah, Tuesday we did have that distribution day because, you know, the index kind of dropped quite a bit, and small caps also dropped. The IBD 50 also dropped pretty big. And same thing with some Wednesday also some drop. And the one thing happened on Wednesday was some of the oil futures were getting pretty high. So that day a lot of the groups were moving in the oil and gas sector. So yeah, something to watch out. Even coal stocks are doing good that day. We'll look at some of them, but let's look at the what do you call the market trend here. So on Tuesday we have a what do you call the distribution day, and so we had 3 on Nasdaq and 6 on S&P, but by Thursday and Friday the gains came in. They dropped some of those numbers because they're too long to be considered distribution day. After like a month they drop them, or after, like, if they rise, you know, more than how many percent, they'll drop them, usually 5%. So anyhow, so but yeah, so that was one distribution day. So nothing too concerned, especially after Thursday, Friday. Okay, I didn't update this number, sorry, I forgot to. But yeah, you know, we see like Thursday numbers, we see that it actually came back quite a bit. So, you know, 300 being bought. There's still a lot of selling as well. So that's the and this is the tricky market right now. So, you know, there's lots of stocks being bought, but there's also lots of stock being distributed. So but from Thursday's number, we saw that the industrial were doing the best, and commodities were also doing better. So this is as of Friday, like the stocks that are being accumulated and distributed. So yeah, you can see biotech doing pretty well. Some of the stocks here, I don't know if you follow any of these Crips. I think Moderna has a huge spike on Friday as well. Yeah, those are the few that I follow. Oil and gas, U.S. production, you can see. I think Shakespeare this week report is doing well. Yeah, and then financial service specialty. I don't. Rely was one of them that came out. Yeah, and machinery, TradeWeb also there. So those two is some probably ones that I follow. Machinery, general industrial, NDSN reported this week do well. Oil and gas integrated, none of those I follow. Retail restaurants, Bros report this week, but I'm not sure, I didn't really check the result. TBZ also reported. Wings doing really well. Leisure lodging, I haven't followed this in a while, but interesting that they're moving. So Marriott and ISG is probably the only one I'd look at. Building cement, MLM, some, those are very good names. Building construction, so this one has BLD, BLDR, and some people follow this one, ATKR. AZ is also one I follow. Transportation ship, I don't follow those ones. Transport pipeline, yeah, none of those I follow. but I think some of them did well. Banks, foreign, IBM, computer tech service. I think somehow did really good this week. Auto manufacturers, Toyota still there, Honda still doing well. Food, meat products, I don't really follow Beyond Meat, but it's doing okay. Food package, I think food package doing really well. Yeah, retail discount, Miniso, Ollie, interesting. I haven't looked at Miniso in a while. Ollie, yeah, Ollie did well this week. It is on my list to watch. Chemical specialty, nothing there that I'm watching. Diversify operation. So Berkshire is reporting today, so that stock is doing really well. I'm holding that stock right now. GE is also doing really well. ETN, I'm not holding it. So these stocks are doing really well. We can look at the charts later. Electrical power equipment, Power is still holding on. Paper products, this one is also doing well. Electric power, nothing I'm watching there. BK Machinery, Oil and Gas Machinery Group, FTI, Weatherford. Those are two that's on my list. Finance, credit card payment, MasterCard. Okay, so I took a position in Square yesterday, I believe. Yeah. So they report good numbers. Yeah. Software, financial, none of this on my list. Leisure services. So Life Nation reported well. Yeah. Retailer, apparel, shoes. Urban, I think they also reported well. And then auto parts, Copart did well. That's the only one on my list. Building maintenance service, okay, EME did really well. That's one on my list. Building mobile, none of those I follow. Chemical basic. Pollution control, yeah, I think WCM came on my list. WM is also doing well. Security, CDRE, FSS. Utility, diversify, nothing on my list here. Medical diversify. Yeah, I'm not following any of this either. Ethical drugs, Money Center, Goldman Sachs here, but I haven't been following these guys here. Finance, investment management, so FTAI, doing well. Maine is also doing well. Insurance, so SKWD is on my list. Charles, internet content, so I know LZ reported this week did well. I'm not following Baidu right now. Yeah, so these ones are getting less and less of a bigger group, but yeah, so it is quite diversified in terms of and one thing you'll notice, not much technologies on here, at least at the top, and that's because most of them are still in basing mode. And yeah, so I'm just gonna I have refreshed the numbers here. So for the sectors, so for the accumulation distribution on the group side and stocks, so it continued to increase, more accumulation. Distribution went down slightly. And then on the sector side, you can see technology the weakest. Retail came back quite a bit. Industrial definitely leading. Health also starting to move. Commodities continue to be stable here, and financial slight uptick here. So overall, yeah, industrial seems to be dominating this week, and that's probably the one index we haven't looked at. So let's go look at Dow. And even though and Dow was really strong. I mean, like when we look at Tuesday, it dropped. Wednesday it made a new low, but it was the one that actually closed green that day, I think. And then Thursday it took off to a new high. And Friday, look, it making another new high. So Dow Industrial is really, you know, exerting its leadership right now, which is very interesting. So I would say, you know, and maybe Tom Lee's right. Maybe industrials are going to take the lead, right? Who knows? And then maybe small caps will break out. That could, you know, make this rally to continue higher. So that's something to pay attention to. And I don't remember. Well, last week it was, you know, it got pretty high too. So it, you know, it has been consistently doing well. You can see that over the last 3 weeks here. Like they're constantly getting bought. You know, there's one day here and there that got sold, but in general, it seems like it's getting bought more than other groups, right? So, and even in the previous week too. So yeah, so it's been really strong, industrials, and so okay. So yeah, on Thursday we got the Nvidia news. We'll look at the chart later. The unemployment claim fell to 201,000. Again, that's much less than anticipated. So the labor market continued to be strong. 10-year yield jump quite a bit. So let's just jump to it right now. 0TNX, and we go look at the daily chart here. Here you go. It has been creeping higher and higher. You can see it making new high, slight new high, slight new high. It has been making higher lows, and you know, Friday is a reversal. So you know, so that could be very interesting. So that's good. I think people, you know, don't really want this to go up too high. So now we're in the mid 425 or 430 range. So yeah, if it stays around here, that'll be good. Like, you know, because if we start creeping higher, I think that might trigger something in the market. So we'll continue to watch this very closely. Let's just jump to oil right now. Oil also reversed on Friday, I guess, but it was doing pretty well. It's been, you know, moving up, and then Thursday it tried to break out, but then Friday it reversed. So now one day is not necessarily a trend, so just, you know, watch for that. But this one has been pretty strong, I would say, like more stable than others. The dollar also, you know, kind of has given back a little bit. Just stop. Oh, this is really tight range, eh? Wow, that's amazing how tight it is. But yeah, it has given back a little bit. So which is, you know, okay, I guess. The IBD 50 index again suffered heavy blow on Tuesday. This was a big drop. Again, it got a little bit extended from the channel line here, and then Friday it dropped even more. Sorry, not Friday, Wednesday. So that was a really quick drop here. So let me just now remove my markups for a second so it's clearer. And you can see, yeah, this is undercut this low. So hopefully this is it, right? Like hopefully that was the test here. So some people probably got shaken out of whatever stock they're holding. And then now it has bounced back about 10 days. So we look at, so very near, like we are again, you know, we fell once already. Probably you can consider this also a fail here too. So twice now. So this is the third time we're trying to break out again on the IBD 50. So here's the long-term chart. It's looking like, you know, definitely getting, you know, quite long away from this 18-month line here. So if this breaks out, that would be very positive for growth stocks, right? So that's something we want to watch, and that could, you know, spawn another rally in growth stocks. So yeah, on Thursday, Dow climbed above 39,000 for the first time ever. The Nasdaq also closing above 16,000 level for the first time. Right, it's very near fresh all-time high. And also on Thursday, you know, the volume rose on both exchange, Nasdaq and NYC. So that's also a bullish sign for institution participation. So that's why, you know, I feel like, you know, this rally could have more leg, because of course one day is nothing, but at least the signs are good that there's lots of volume that day. And again, IBD 50 jump actually big that day, right? So now Now it's above the 10-day moving average. So this is the third time now it's trying to break out. So very interesting. Yeah, and Nasdaq has gained, 15 in the past 17 weeks. And it found support at 21-day line. So that's also another plus. So, next week, oh yeah, the other thing we should probably look at the equal weight index. Because, even though the, we'll look at the advanced decline line in a second. Like look at RSP, right? It finally broke out, and now it's starting to move. Even though at a very slow pace, but at least it's making new highs. I think that's the key here. So which means there's more and more stocks participating now, right? So that's why RSP is also participating now. So this is good news. And then we look at equal weight Nasdaq. This one you can see is still trying to come out. And that's the problem. It's probably the weaker one, but at least it has come back up again. It did this double test here, and now we're at the high of the range. So at least we're near the top, not the bottom. So that's also a good sign. And then if we go to IBD newspaper here, we can see S&P 500. So this is the making new high right here. So the advanced decline line here has been trending upward. It hasn't made new high on the AD line, but at least it's not at the bottom, right? If we go to Nasdaq, again, Nasdaq is near the top right here, but the AD line is at the bottom. So this is the worry part right now. Like if you look at most of the tech stocks, are they making new highs, or are they at the bottom of the range or something? And probably is near the bottom of the range, most of them. And so that's the problem right now. So again, but it could pick up. So like we saw on the IBD 50, it has corrected more than once, twice, and now it's the third time it's trying to break out. If it does take off, I would assume a lot of Nasdaq stocks will also start to come back as well. So we'll see. But again, Nasdaq is definitely not as strong as NYSE or in general S&P here as well. So I would say, based on what we saw this week, the last few weeks, industrial is starting to take leadership. So watch out for those stocks. So today is Saturday, 24. Berkshire will be reporting and having the conference. Tuesday we have consumer confidence. Wednesday we have retail inventories, and Thursday is the big day, personal consumption expenditure. So that will be Fed will pay attention to this inflation. It's seen rising 2.8% year over year, so that's a good number. So yeah, we'll see how that goes on Thursday. The PMI will be also out on Friday, so that's also important. Cameron Dawson actually mentioned this is the one thing that she's really focusing on, because whether how the pricing also reflect on this manufacturing number. So because some people think that inflation is coming back, right? So it is important to see whether this has how that relates to that. I didn't look at earnings. Not sure what earnings will come out, but most of the major ones have already come out. So again, I think we're winding down the earnings season. So again, the question is, now the earnings is over, can stocks move on its own without any catalyst, right? And that's important to figure out, and we will know as time goes on. So far, I think stocks that have reported, they seem to be moving on their own without any other catalyst. So that's a good sign. Yeah. Anyhow, that's that. I'd like to go to the let's see if I have it here somewhere. Where did it go? Yeah, so let's go look at the CME futures. So this is very interesting that the CME future now, they have priced in only 3 rate cuts this year now. So it looks like the market is in sync with many analysts now, which is interesting. So in March, you can see, 90-something%, no change. But let's look at May. Again, no change. June, 5. So June, they're expecting a rate cut right now by the market. So the market and the most analysts are pretty much in sync now. So there's one cut in June, and then no cut in July, and then another cut in September. So June, September, and then November,
So
another cut.
now it's pushed back to June.
Yeah, June,
Earlier it was
September, November. That's it. So that's the current futures right now. So 3 rate cut still in place, right? So we went from like 6 cuts a few weeks ago. Now the market only expecting 3 rate cut. Again, the numbers are, again, the PMI, the CPI, Consumer Price Index, really make a difference. Last time, again, people like Tom Lee, they're saying that the last month's data, January data, is not really, it's just 1 month. It's not a trend or whatever. It should come back down and so forth. So who knows? So right now, the fact that the market has priced in, more later, actually is a good sign for the market, because now if there's any surprises, it will be on the good side, right? Because if the Fed does cut earlier for whatever reason, let's say inflation data come out much weaker, then yeah, Fed cut rates earlier, so that will be a good thing for the market, So yeah, so now it's been pushed back quite a bit. The market has pushed it back, but yet the market continued to make new highs. So there's a lot of good signs in those scenarios, right? Because now market not afraid of any more delay. At least it's been delayed to June. So well, that's interesting. So the GDP number, Atlanta Fed, is at 2.9% estimate for this current quarter. So that's still pretty strong. So even though like the oscillator, overbought, oversold oscillator from IBD didn't show much greed, but here we do see lots of greed here on CNN index. We're near the highs here. And then AAII also went up to 44%. It's not the highest. You see 49 here. It went up slightly. The bearishness also went up. Okay, so it's kind of both went up. This one stayed the same, but 26%. So yeah, there's a little bit more bearish from a couple of weeks ago, and a little bit less bullish from a couple of weeks ago. So yeah. So the SMH, the semiconductor group ETF here, again, follow the Nasdaq pretty closely. Probably we have this like kind of really short mini pullback here. I don't know how many percent is that, but it's not that long. It found support at 21 days, just like Nasdaq did, and then it kind of propelled higher on just one day, Thursday. Pretty much because of Nvidia, and then a lot of other chip stocks also follow. And then Friday, you can see it did reverse, but it didn't give up the low, so that's a good sign. So yeah, so this trend is continue, and it's a pretty strong slope, like 30%, 35%. On the weekly chart, it looked a lot stronger, 45% and 45-degree angle. Obviously, you can see it's 29% past the current pivot here. So it is definitely extended now, but it could go on longer. That's the thing, right? So let's jump to Nvidia for a second. So here go Nvidia, really make new high. Very similar chart. Go to daily. Again, you have this pullback to 21, and now it's a little bit extended, and you can see it pull back to the lower end on Friday, but still a positive day. Now we have this slope, and it could start kind of like this slope here, maybe a little bit stronger. Yeah, and it could go on higher, right? So that's Nvidia. I know AMD also follows suit. It bounced back on Thursday, and so the question that I was asked to many analysts: would you buy Nvidia the number one, or would you buy AMD number two? So the question was, would you buy Nvidia extended, or would you buy AMD like kind of still in a proper kind of buy point here? And a lot of people choose number two for which is AMD. So Friday gave back quite a bit, so that's, I don't like that, but at least it's still above 10-day. So but yeah, but maybe that's a good sign that you can, give you a lower price. I don't know, but yeah, so this is definitely number two. But some people like AMD, so and again, it has tested the lows here many times, so it gives you a less risk. And we'll talk about SMCI as well, just because they're all related. And so, from the weekly chart, it looks like nothing has happened. But if you go to daily chart, lots of volatility, like big swings here, big swings here, and even Friday it was huge swing. So one of the things that was said was, when the stock top, they tend to have erratic swings, so be careful of that. But on the weekly chart, like I said, it doesn't look like much has gone on. But it is, very wild range right now, and so that also not a good sign. Yeah, so something to pay attention to. Let's jump to the software group, IGB. This have been hit hard. Many stocks in this area also have corrected more than others, and the problem with this index ETF here is that, I don't know, the bounce is strong, but not that strong, right? Like you see, it's still under the 10-day. And so I'm worried that this downtrend will continue. So let's go jump to like Microsoft, for example. Now, see, Microsoft has come back up above the 10-day. So that's a good. Yeah, so we'll see if this hold. Let's go to Google. So this one, you see, is stuck at the 10-day. The downtrend is still intact. Amazon. So Amazon is doing probably better. You can see it's above the 10-day. And it also like kind of closed at the top too, right? So this one's holding pretty good. So, and then we have Meta. So Meta also tried to come out here. So that was a pretty good, like, after 3 down days, it took 1 day and they also make new high. So this is very strong. Like, this is, the RS line doesn't show that it's very strong, but I don't know. I guess it didn't perform as well, but I think overall it looks pretty good. So that's Meta. So yeah, in general, we'll look at some more stocks after on the software. Let's finish with the big cap, Apple. This one is still on a downtrend, and we talk about this bottom here. If it does undercut that, it'll be probably pretty painful. Reminds me of Tesla a little bit. So here was Tesla. Yeah, overall it's still on a downtrend. So it looks slightly better. It's trading tighter, but if it failed this tightness, it could have a long way to go. Like, generally when you have tightness, that's a good sign, but when you fail those tightness, that means the people who are trying to hold on to it couldn't even hold on to it no more. So that's also could be negative, right? So the longer it tightness and it doesn't break out, the worse it gets. So that's how it usually is. So that be mindful of that. Let's jump back to software stocks. That's it. That's the big cap 7. So if we go back to like software stock, like just want to see where things at. CRM. So this one bounced back. So this is above 10-day and it's near the highs. So this one looks okay. ServiceNow. This one, I don't like how it keep closing at the lows here. Like on the range here, you see it closed down, closed at the bottom. I don't like how that looks. But if it wasn't, it would have been okay. Shopify. Well, this one is definitely on a downtrend. You see, it can't even stay above 10-day at all. So, yeah. GCT. This one behaves very similar to SMCI. Volatile. It's possible it can make new high. But yeah, it's hard to trade this one now. I feel like it's just getting erratic swings. Yeah, Amazon is doing pretty good. It's like, again, close it near the top, right? So that's really good. Yeah, and look at this volume, and look at the dry up in volume as it sells too. So that's also a good sign. So you have selling in lower volume and buying in higher volume. So some of the good stocks that are still running. This one did very well this week. Parsons. So now it's getting extended. Now it's like 20% profit zone. See over here, Spotify. What else do I have here? Spotify. And this one also starting to get extended. It's still on a nice trend. So that's Spotify, looking good. That's NPS. So this one reported. So it tried to come out, but then it kind of fell back. So I don't like when it fell back this much. And then Friday fall through with that fall as well, so I don't like that at all. So, but otherwise, I generally I like this stock. It usually move okay. Let's look at this one. Nice. This one break out on high. It came out on higher earnings. Also came back down. So I don't like when it comes back down. So this is not a good sign. Both SNPS and NICE did that. DY, this is telecom infrastructure. This one did come out. Again, in reverse, so we'll see what happens on the next day. EVH. Okay, so this is medical device, computer software. Oh, okay, so it come out on good earnings. So we'll see if this thing can hold. This is probably a long-term breakout if it does happen. So before this has a nice move here. So we'll see. This is a really long base actually. So if it comes out, we'll see if that moves. It has good numbers too. So the Palo Alto really got nailed this week. Huge drop. I mean, everybody took it by surprise how big of a drop this is. And the problem here is, you know, after the drop, look how slow it climbed. It just doesn't look good right now. You know, you want to see fast recovery, not slow recovery. Let's look at CrowdStrike. So this one, you know, corrected to, I think the whole group corrected. But this one found support. Again, it's still on a downtrend. I would be careful with that. Let's look at JetScaler. Same thing here. Still on the downtrend. It recovers somewhat. It usually does. It will bounce back. But this trend line is very important, which is usually around the 10-day. Look at Palantir. Palantir actually did pretty good. It's holding up stronger than most stocks. But it's also not moving up much. So that's the problem too. Frog. So Frog, you know, came out on earnings, did really well, has pulled back quite a bit. Found support 10-day. So we'll see if this can move after. MDB also pulled back to 50-day, bounced back. Unfortunately, it's still kind of on a downtrend. Net, same thing here, came out on earnings, but then it basically hasn't done much since then. So that's the problem with some of this, right? Once it gets extended, it's very hard to buy, because even it has good earnings and so forth, again, the catalyst is gone, right? Like, and it's extended, right? So people are now taking profit and it's selling off. So that's the problem with a lot of stocks right now that are extended. Is you could buy in, but what is the catalyst that can make it go higher? Is most likely people will start taking profit. Yeah, Appfolio. This one, wow, this one is holding stronger than most stocks. So this looking pretty good, really good. And it's not extended, right? It's still near the base. So this one is looking really good, actually. App. So this one extended after earnings, pull back. Again, this one didn't even try to touch the 10-day. I would consider that a good sign. And the volume is starting to come down too. So you know, it means people want to hold at this level. So this one might be a interesting one. So GoDaddy surprisingly came out before a lot of this guy. So you can see here. So this one making a move. Very interesting. So it has this kind of like, you know, somewhat of a base here. Not a clean base, but it is somewhat of a consolidation area, and now it came out. So this one has a really strong run, and now it looks like it wants to go again. So probably this would be good to put on your watch list, or maybe even take a position. GoDaddy. So the other one, oh yeah, now I remember. ANET. Let's look at ANET. So ANET pull back. So it's slightly above the 10-day. So that's okay. And volume was really low on Friday, so that's also good. Thursday they come in with higher volume. So ANET looks okay too. So yeah, some of these stocks probably could, you know, they did do the pullback and to the 50-day. Generally, pullback to 50-day and rebound on it is a good buy, because that's where a lot of institutions support. So that's ANET. Areas of strength, EDU making new. Let's see. So yeah, it's making a move right now, trying to come out. Let's just go to another Chinese stock. PDD is not doing so well. It gave up on Friday, so just so right here, gave up. So that's the problem there. Okay, so I'm back to other stocks. Ving, this one is definitely extended. You know, it move on good earnings. That could, but you know, it could go on higher. You know, it's definitely extended, and it could even go for a climax, right? Who knows? ISG, we talk about that. Hotels doing okay. Amazon did that. Urban also doing well. Royal Caribbean, RBA report earnings this week doing okay. Tripcom, yeah, let's look at that one. So that one is starting to make a big move. It's definitely extended right now from the 10-day. Might come back a little bit. We'll see. But it's a long consolidation as well. So here you go. Looking pretty strong. This is Chinese related. So some Chinese stocks are rebounding. Very interesting. But PD wasn't. So I don't know why. Yeah. TCOM. Only the retail discount is starting to make a move here. So if it breaks out from here, it could move. Like, you know, this one is a little bit more choppy. So just so you know. On the industrial side, yeah, like some of these stocks are just keep running. Like GE, we talk about. So here you go on the weekly chart. It's definitely extended now. It's kind of accelerating actually. So yeah, I sold this too early, but it is, yeah, making move. So the one that I still have, this BRKB, also very strong. Berkshire Hathaway, I don't know what the report will look like today. It hasn't made the 20% mark yet, but it is going towards that. So that's that one. Fix. Yeah, so you can see a lot of this, and when you look at the weekly chart, it's very obvious, like they're really extended now. So that's why I would say I would caution on some of this, because they look too good right now, like almost too good. The one that came out this week was like some, so this one like came out this week. So yeah. Oh yeah, I took a position in some. Other ones, again, some of these have been running for a while. Again, they're accelerating right now. So usually when that happens near the end, right? So, but they could gain a lot usually at the end. TTGs and other aerospace defense also starting to accelerate. EME. So this one also starting to move really fast. Also extended. Powell. So this one broke out this week. Powell on good earnings, high volume, looks good. Quanta services. And then the pollution waste management. So this one I guess is extended now. It's pretty much near the 20% profit zone. And LPX. So this is building wood products. So it's trying to come out right now. So
long consolidation.
Yeah. Yeah, hasn't. We'll see. Looks okay right now. Hasn't really quite come out yet, but so yeah, if we break this level, I think it looks okay. So that's some of the strength there. Again, not too much strength on in general. There's some stocks that are doing okay, and a lot of them are extended. So MEDP on the health side, this one continues to go. Doesn't look like it wants to stop. I already sold it, but it looks like it wants to go. So it made new high on Friday. This one just came out, Collegium. I took a position in this guy. Lots of volume came in. Let's look at the longer term. So yeah, so it's really looking like it wants to, like this is a base on base pattern. Relative strength is really strong right now. So yeah, it could go. We'll see. And numbers are really good, like for a health biotech stock. This is generic drugs. Okay. ICLR. So yeah, this one is also looking good. It's starting to move big as well. I think it moved on earnings here as well. So it broke out that day, holding really tight. So that's good. It's always good to see a holding tight after breakout day. OMI. Let's look at this one. OMI is trying to come out right now. Smaller cap guy. Vertex. So Vertex, you know, it didn't make the 20% profit, and then it pulled back pretty strong. And then now it's starting to kind of, I don't know, the volume is not there though on the bounce, right? So that's the only problem here. But it is coming out from this tightness. So I don't know if volume will come in soon. But, you know, yeah. So we'll see if it moves. The last time, like this is very similar right here. You see that? It moves out and then it pauses and then it goes up. So very similar. So I don't know if it's going to do that this time. We'll see. I did take a small position in that so far. AMA, Apollo Medical Holdings. So this one is also coming out. Looks pretty good. I don't think it report yet. So this is coming week report. That's the only caveat there. Oil and gas stuff. I don't have too many stocks because most of the earnings are not that good. So I don't usually look at negative earnings stock. But Weatherford is one of them. Came out. Looking pretty strong. FTI. It's moving. I like FTI. I remember this stock. I made money on it last time. So we'll see if it moves. I think this have the 200 day has caught up. You see, the 200 day has caught up. This is a big move actually. So yeah, like this is also very strong right now. Look at this volume, insane volume. Like look at the 2 days of selling, like so low. So and this is still in the base, so that's a good. West you make a move on earnings, really fast mover right now. I couldn't get in. It's just moving too fast. But I don't know. This is also a long consolidation. Like look at this, right? So generally after a long consolidation, when it moves fast because everybody will miss it. That's how it always works. So we'll see. Financial FTAI. We already talked about Toll Brothers. TAI. So this one is still going. It pulls back very tight to like it just doesn't like it went up on earnings. I mean, you know, I like this because it's really tight, right? That's the only good part about this. So it shows that there's lots of support and volume is really low on the selling stuff. So this could have more room to go, right? It's somewhat extended, from here, but I don't like, if you do want to buy it, it's possible because it's so tight here. I like that part. Usually short consolidation is not my thing, but unless it's really tight, and that is super tight, kind of like Vortex, right? Very tight recent action. SKWD. So this one broke out and looking okay so far, and yeah, looks pretty good. SKWD Insurance Group, that one. AMK. This one also broke out. A little bit choppy though, so on the daily chart. But it is a smaller cap. So again, some smaller caps could move fast if they really do well. And the numbers are good here. So this is finance investment management. And lastly, I have SQ. So the volume here, obviously you can see this is the largest volume ever in a long time, and this is a long consolidation. There's probably still a little bit more volatility if it try to come out. But overall, it did reverse a little bit. This pace looks pretty okay to me. But we'll see, right? Again, the next day is always the more important day. The breakout day is usually, good to take a small position if you want to get in. But the next day is always a telltale sign. So we'll see how that goes.